Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. Thank you for joining us to celebrate this holiness. When Jesus first shared with me or told me, okay, you're going to record twice a day. It was last March when he said that. And I had one question, but not many. I just started making the recordings. And I could see it was for me. Like, I didn't know, would someone else want to join at all? You know, you can't even, you just have to say yes. The chapters of a new covenant had just started coming, but I didn't know there would be a book at all, not any idea about it. And to see that how he's beautifully brought together beings that are so devoted to God so that we can be together and look so carefully with Jesus in such a specific means. Like, and I've said this before, I'm typing these words. This is a new means given by me for looking. You know, you do have like second thoughts. It's like, what? But you just type, you know, and they just come out, and then you hand it to a mighty companion. And I'm seeing how we have to like step into that trust, like that we can hear him and really step into it. Because without really just saying yes and really and being in that trust, the trust of infinite love, like how could you know ahead of time? Like the ego wants to know ahead of time, okay, I'm going to plan it out. I'm going to have a strategic plan to getting all these beings together. That's what the K probably would have had. I'm going to have a strategic vision for I have to just start saying people, because when I have beans, it translates it to frioles, to real beans, you know, a pot of beans. So it's a pot of beans working together. So not only do you have to know, like, to understand this, you have to know English and you have to know Spanish, but you have to know which words are going to be changed. Like ego is going to be eagle.
No solo tienes que saber cómo entender esto, tienes que saber inglés y tienes que saber español, pero tienes que saber qué palabras van a ser cambiadas, como ego va a ser águila.
And then beings are going to be frioles, are going to be beans. But once you kind of get a handle on that, you've got It'll keep us from being too serious about it. Isn't that true? You get a love hug on that one. And it's been such a testament to so many things, like seeing that he's in control of the atonement. And that's what's most helpful, to ask him every miracle. And the power, like, of the beings of the mighty companions coming together in that joining to look so directly with him. And that just seemed like such a huge statement when I first heard it, that everyone can hear him with the clarity. I'm thinking, there were certainly doubt, but there were certainly doubt thoughts when I first heard, okay, now everyone's going to can hear me at the level of Helen. Boy, this is turning me to mush right now. To actually say those words and have them come out of your mouth, like everyone's going to be able to hear at the level of Helen. And then see the clarity and the power with which everyone, and how he coaches everyone so specifically, anyone who's willing to listen to his voice in that way and hear the beauty that's come through the joining sessions. I don't think too many of us would have on our job interview, I'm going to hear and speak Jesus's voice. Like, that was not on my job interview resume at all. And it's been so beautiful to see how gently he's working with each being to show us where we've been afraid or embarrassed to speak to him, embarrassed to speak our own voice. Ferris, speak on Ferris. You just have to put it out there. And he's reminding me that it's really not the words that are said, it's where they're coming from. That we're infinite light, and that's all there is. And when the voice comes out of this light, it just shines out into the world of expression of love. And you'll hear a being like Muji speak, and it's like so beautiful, it just blows you back against the wall, you know. Yet that's only the symbol of the voice within that speaks through every one of us. When we're speaking the truth, we speak as light. So today, lesson 67, love created me like itself. And I'm seeing every day, every minute, every hour is our opportunity to see that love created me like itself. And if the tiniest itty bitty little doubt rises up about us being created me like itself, then Jesus is right there next to us. Then Jesus, we're all seeing that he's right next to us, holding his hand to remind us, love created me like itself. And when we look with honesty of God at this infinite light that's here, we're just reminding it's just light, it's love that's always here. That all this love is available for us just exactly as it's given by God himself. And no matter how much we would whinge and complain and yell and be mad or unhappy or whatever play is in consciousness,
Y no importa cuánto ganemos sin quejarnos y estar locos o infelices o lo que sea en la conciencia.
that we can look with the light of being and see directly within our hearts and know that there isn't we can't be anything other than love created me like itself. It's just impossible. So in about 3 days, the cycle will be complete on all the lessons. Yet it feels like we will be continuing to stream them out. I guess it'll be really in guidance from Jesus for what's most helpful, because that's our only function. And so we will keep joining, and there will be spontaneous sessions as guided by him for us to come together in this holiness. And there will be, he's continuing with chapter 20, will continue to join those beings together that want to go deeply with Jesus, to hear that voice through chapter 20, which is chapter 20. All that is beliefs and desires out of A Course in Miracles. And he just concentrated, he did it for me. It could show me that until those desires, until I saw with him that I was holding on to these desires and not wanting miracles whatsoever. We laugh about that here because we can see it. We can see he's so right. I didn't want, sometimes we just don't want a thing to do with a miracle, not one single itch, nothing. To help me get to the point where I had to admit that I truly did need his help more than I even realized, even had a clue about. And that meant a whole lot of help, like a lot. Like nonstop help every day. But also then the realization comes, this is the way. He's given the way exactly as he promises. And of course, in miracles, he's giving us the way. He's reminding me, like when you first look at the course and you go, how am I going to get through that book? It's like you as who you think you are is not going to get through that book, because by the time you go through it with them, there's not going to be a you there. There's just going to be what only is original to God. And that is God created me like itself, the sameness of the one with the Father. And you'd start to see, like I've started to see, like, wow, this is just an opportunity to open up the conversation with infinite love about every sentence in this book. And that every one of us has the power to have that conversation so gently and so directly with him, to see where we're wrong. Like he shows you wrong like 1,000 billion times. Like that's what it takes. I could see, because all the arrogance, you know. Yet this love cannot be imagined by the ego. Like we're so used to being in the play. I can see that in imagining what love is and planning for what love to be, and having little diagrams and charts, and you know, it's the whole plan. And then it just dawns on you that the only plan is his plan. The infinite plan. Oh, That's hilarious. It said the PLC plan, not the infinite plan. It's the infinite plan, the plan of the totality of everything that we are. It's like the plan that takes you to your knees so many times till your head's finally at his feet going, just help me, Jesus. Isn't this true? Isn't this true? It's so true. And then right when you're like at your total level of crankiness and you're going, Jesus, where are you? Malhumar. Malhumar. And then, you know, like I just remember being really cranky about something like the water or something not coming, like, where's the water? Jesus, are you helping me, for crying out loud, you know? And then like the impossibility happens, like there's no way you can get it before Tuesday and it shows up on Friday, you know? He's shown me like we so desperately need these time and space rearrangements by him, like to just keep showing I'm with you, because we're so used to form. We're so used to seeing it in form. See? Pharmacy. Oh, we're so blessed to have these Spanish mighties who'd be willing to just listen to Jesus through this thing. We're just blessed to be here together. And I'm seeing how much reminding, like reminding and then remind again and remind again. Because consciousness is the adoration of God amnesia. I'm just checking in with Jesus, and we can all hear it. We know this is true. Today's idea is a complete and accurate statement of what you are. Jesus is saying that is all that you are. You can see, like, by talking, let Jesus come through. It's our own natural voice, and you can start to see the resistance to that voice, and then you just see the joy that starts coming when the energy of love, like the love that's behind those words. It's not the words, it's the infinite love that carries, the power that carries. We're speaking the voice that's natural to us. The voice that carries the power of God with it, infinite. It takes me to my knees when I just hear those words from that first chapter. You can see it's all for you, that he says to imply that anyone cannot hear my voice in fullness right now would be to defy the Father's will. And to come together in this holy purpose to where we're just, that's our function. Our function's to extend through our voice, that our voice speak the voice for God and that into the world. That's the celebration of all that is. This is why you're the light of the world. This is why God appointed you as the world's savior. These words were written by Helen to jump off the page into our hearts. So that when we look at every sentence, we don't doubt it. We know it's true. And besides, what are we doing this for unless we are here to really see that we are the savior of the world? Every one of us is each other's savior. What are we doing without seeing that? Like it seems so out of impossible to be the savior of the world. Like, how can that be? That was reserved for Jesus or something. As I told him once, I think I've said this, I said to Jesus, that didn't work out so well for you being the savior of the world. It didn't look good. This is why God appointed you as the world's savior. This is why the Son of God looks to you for his salvation. He is saved by what you are. We will make every effort today to reach this truth about you and to realize fully, if only for a moment, that it is the truth. He's helping us see that this is the only way it can be, that we can only be loved. There isn't another possibility. No other possibility exists for us. In the longer practice period, we will think about your reality and its wholly unchanged and unchangeable nature. This is the helpfulness of contemplating infinite light. We will begin by repeating this truth about you and then spend a few minutes adding some relevant thoughts, such as, it's like you can start to see why the ego avoids even looking at these thoughts, because the power, the abject power of just these thoughts is like, oh. Holiness created me holy. Kindness created me kind. Helpfulness created me helpful. Perfection created me perfect. It's like after a while, you start asking Jesus's help and you just turn to mush because there's so much love that comes from that. Because we're turning in. See, it's a turning in toward love. Whenever we ask for his help, you turn into love and you get these little love, these little love cuddles. Any attribute which is in accord with God as he defines himself is appropriate for use. I just said to Jesus, I said, we know what those are. He said, yes, you do. He says, you're only pretending that you don't know. They're all the attributes of infinite light, when we notice the light, the infinite light within us. You're trying today to undo your definition of God and replace it with his own. So I just go ahead and ask Jesus, do I relish having a definition of God that is not God's definition? That's really the key, to see how much we relish having every other definition of God except the one that's true. These holiness, kindness, helpfulness, perfection, innocence. We are trying today to undo your definition of God and replace it with his own. So it's when we're holding on to a definition other than what God's definition of God is, that's when the hurting begins. That's when the self-torture begins. That's when trying to prove God that we were right begins. That's when hell begins. We are also trying to emphasize that you are part of his definition of himself. I might need a couple of boxes of Kleenex today. I mean, it's just so much love in this, so much love. It's like so much love, like so much love. And how much like we want to duke it out with them to fight them, to keep all these definitions that are not of God. But then we have to just see that in innocence too, he says, you know, because love just loves, you know, it's not judging all this book. It gave us this book so that we called for this book so we can be shown that we were pretending to forget the definition of God. After you have gone over several such related thoughts, try to let all thoughts drop away for a brief preparatory interval, and then try to reach past all your images and preoccupations and preconceptions about yourself to the truth in you. If love created you like itself, this self must be in you. And somewhere in your mind, it is there for you to find. You may find it necessary to repeat the idea for today from time to time to replace distracting thoughts. You may also find that this is not sufficient and that you need to continue adding other thoughts related to the truth about yourself. Yet perhaps you will succeed in going past that and through the interval of thoughtlessness to awareness of blazing light in which you recognize yourself as love created you. So I just asked Jesus about that. I said, Jesus, so the light's really bright. He says, brighter, it's going to put me on the floor again. It's brighter than 1,000 suns. I said, Jesus, this is what we're fighting not to see. He says, yes. Well, it's good to be clear on that. Be confident that you will do much today to bring that awareness nearer, whether you feel you have succeeded or not. I said, Jesus, we have no clue as to whether we're succeeding at night or not. He says, that's correct. All of consciousness is to convince us where we're trying to convince ourselves that we're not what we already are. You can see how these like course lessons, they're like these little stepping stones where he keeps us turning in and learning what trust and faith is, faith in ourselves, that we're more than we think we are. It will be particularly helpful today to practice the idea for the day as often as you can. Boy, these are such true words. These next ones, holy smokes. Because your mind is so preoccupied with false self-images. Jesus, do I have a desire for an experience where I'm addicted to these false images? He says this is what miracles are for. Five times an hour, and perhaps even more, it'd be most beneficial to remind yourself that love created you like itself. Four or five times an hour to remind ourselves that love created us like itself. It's such a great reminder. I remember when I started the course and we do the course, you know, you get to the end of the day and said, oh, I just completely forgot the lesson. He says, spend no time on that forgetting. You can remember your love right now. Oh. That's all he's saying. You can remember that your love right this moment, right now. Hear the truth about yourself in this. All these things that love are provided, like the light circles, you can see how he's just been providing this as the means to constantly be reminding that love made us like itself. And the joining sessions, which we'll have one today at 2, if you'd like to come and shine your light and share what Jesus is telling you, because we can all hear him and it's so beautiful. When we hear him, everything that's shared is beautiful. The willingness is beautiful, the wanting to ask Jesus questions together, because we see the power of what he's given in this joining, and we need the help from each other. It's everything that's shared, not a shirt. Everything that is shared is so beautiful, so and purposeful, that God has brought us together in this way to look so deeply at love, that we're only love. I just said to Jesus, Jesus, you've brought us together so we can hear the truth about ourselves in this. And he says, yes. That's why he's brought us together for this year, looking at light circles to see the truth about ourselves together. That's the only purpose of the joining in light sessions in chapter 20. See, it's the washout that we're separate. It's just looking together to see that our brother is our salvation. Try to realize in the shorter practice periods that this is not your tiny solitary voice that tells you this. This is the voice for God reminding you of your Father and of yourself. This is the voice of truth, replacing everything that the ego tells you about yourself with the simple truth about the Son of God. You are created by love like itself. This is such a good question to ask Jesus in our heart so we can hear that reassurance from him. Jesus, am I created by love like itself? Am I truly created like love? That's all you can be. So I'll set a little timer. Well, I don't know if I have a timer, but we'll just sit for a moment with this beautiful lesson and let him take us to light. We are light. And now I'm asking him, so this moment of thoughtlessness goes to, yes, it'll go to blazing light, he says. So I vote we just do that now. Okay, Jesus, we're all ready for blazing light. Give it to us. He laughed and said, it's what you are. Thank you again, Jesus, for bringing us together and showing us who we are and reminding us who we are and bringing our brother to remind us who we are, so that every time we see a brother, we just reminded what we are. And I'll ask Lori if she feels the inspiration this morning to share a song. It looks like she's smiling. I know she was working with Jesus this morning. I don't know if anything came through, but let's just see.
Thank you so much, Kay. Thank you, Joy and Light, for your yes to God and to truth. Thank you so much. We watched Good Will Hunting last night. And it perfectly kicked up plenty of dust. So this song is in thanksgiving for kicking up the dust, seeing the dust, knowing what works in trusting Kay, trusting Jesus in the awakening and the remembering and the seeing. So thank you. This song is a thank you for all of this. And the working title is Goodwill Shining.
Oh.
San Juan, Casala, San Juan, Casala, San Juan, Casala, San Juan, Casala. Good I knew you'd come back. I'm seeing that love, holding you now. Send one beside love, whispering wind calling you back. Send one course of love, blazing light calling your name. Goodwill coming, maybe something calling me, calling me, calling me, calling me out. Is your goodwill shining? Are you really something beautiful? Calling me, calling me, calling me, calling me out of the grave. In the playbook of consciousness, kicking and screaming, counterfeit screams, seeming real. Sweet soul sister, only love underneath. Where do I find it? Can't be overcome. Hey, yeah. Goodwill coming, maybe something calling me, calling me, calling me, calling me out. Goodwill is shining. Are you really something beautiful? Calling me, calling me, calling me out of the grave. So won't you build me up, build me back up, golden buttercup, sugar, sugar, honey, honey. Blessed to be here now. Won't you take me all the way back? Seeing about love, I'm holding it now. Won't you take me down? Won't you take me down all the way, all the way under your wing, all the way. Take me down all the way under your wing, all the way back. The prayer of the heart.
Thank you, beloved mighty. Big hugs to all of you. Thank you, Lori. Another beautiful song coming through from Jesus. For the first time on that one.